Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of What I Learned This Week. It's actually what I learned in 3 weeks, because I had surgery on my leg, so I took some time off. Now, when I wrote this, my cold DMs sucked, and I'm pretty sure they still sucked. I think I'm out of leads that I'm sending them to, and I'm kind of trying to rework them a bit to increase the response rate, because getting a 0.5% reply rate is really bad and really low, even for something like cold DMs. To fix some of the issues that I've been experiencing, I built my own database, which I'll show you here. Well, basically all this does is I had some issues with saying, hey, which leads do I contact for which program? And since I'm using Instagram DMs, I built my own little code, which you can see here, right? It's actually a bunch of stuff, but the way it works is very simple. You decide on just giving your campaigns some name, and you just write the name in here, and you just do an enter, right? So now we have 4 campaigns. One is no offer, some offer, really good offer, and one is old for testing. And then these leads will get put into this database here. So all this is just a wrapper, right? A front end for 2 different tables. And here we can see which username they're added to and which campaign. Right, and so I'll show you the way this works. So let's say that we gather some Instagram URLs of accounts that we want to contact. And we just go up here and we say, hey, I want to contact old female fitness creators. Right, and we paste that in here. We select this, and it will now give us this list right here, which we can easily copy. We can also edit. But we can take this and we can load it into our cold DM source or cold DM tool that we're using. And the neat thing is, now that I have copied this, right, so I have it in my clipboard, if I now say, hey, I actually want to load them in again, so to make sure I don't have any duplicates, it's going to tell me that there's no unique leads. And even then, if I have all of these, and let's say that I have a different one, so I have a bunch of duplicates and then I have some uniques, and I want to load all of the uniques into right, some no offer, then it's only going to take the one that is unique. And that's something that's really useful because that makes sure that we don't double contact any leads that we have. And so now I can contact this one, right? And then to have this in here, we can see in here that this has been written into the database. And to delete it, it's very easy. We just select everything but the top line and delete it. And to change it, we just do the same thing. Now, if you're interested in recreating this, you can pause the video. This is the code. This is the actual components, right? Just pause it and screenshot it. It's pretty easy. It just runs a regex and uses dash to do this. Now, let's close this, right? So this is something that's really handy for me because that allows me to focus on scraping and to not have any complex Google sheet that tracks whether or not I have done these, if I've contacted these leads already, if they're good to contact. Like it's just a lot that goes on. And this is a very simple app that helps me a lot to do that. Right? I'm trialing the scraping of some Instagram accounts. There's something called scraper.ws, but I've seen recently that it's actually gone down, which is not great. I have actually no idea what that means. Let's figure it out. And so there are some other things, this service has stopped working, that I'm trying to figure out to replace that, right? Which is not great. So now onto the kind of mindset stuff. I spent some time figuring out what I want to do, and since I was offline, I could spend quite a bit of time focusing on that. And there's 2 different schedules, actually, as it turns out. I was doing some reading, and there's the makers and the managers schedule. The makers schedule basically has 2 time blocks per day, roughly 4 hours long, and it cannot be interrupted, right? Imagine you're really into something, you're like in a deep work block, and someone comes and interrupts you, and then you're really, really struggling to get back into the flow. And that is very similar. Well, that is exactly what the maker's schedule is like. You need to have a lot of time to really delve into a topic and to really get some work done. And the manager's schedule is the complete opposite. And it operates in 15, 20, 30 minute, whatever time blocks. And you can schedule and allot your time based on that. And something that I have found very difficult is, or that I've realized that I was doing wrong, was approaching my life to make something from a manager's perspective. So saying, I'm going to schedule out my life from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'm going to do exactly this, and then from 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. I'm going to exercise and eat breakfast and do all of these other things. But building something is very challenging, and sometimes it requires more effort than not. And approaching it from the basis of I'm going to break it into 30-minute blocks doesn't work, because the work expands or contracts based on the time allotted to fill it. But it's also challenging to actually get the work done in that time. Anyway, I kind of talked a lot about this now. To add on to that, I read, or I think I actually saw a Robert Greene snippet where he talks about people that there's three kinds of people, right? There's the person that does one thing, that like does investment banking, private equity, or has a startup, right? And that's the only thing they do. Or you have the person that does 5 different things, and they have a startup, but they also have a podcast, but they're also a PhD student, but they're also a LinkedIn authority influencer. And the first person burns out, and the other person that does 5 different things is never successful, because you can't really put much effort into it. And the way to engineer that success, and something that I've noticed, because I was very much more like the 5th person in some ways, like 80% of my life was like the 5th person, right? It's like I want to try something new and I want to experience different things. But what makes the first person successful, net, is that they stick with it. And that's where kind of the middle ground lies, where you say, hey, I'm going to really just focus on this one thing, and I'm going to keep doing it because it's something that fulfills me and it's something that I can really focus on. And then the second path is that I can do something fun, something that keeps me going, some sports, something else. And doing 2 things, having 2 tracks compared to 1, compared to 5, is what makes it successful. So I hope that these 7-ish minutes were useful for you. And if they were, I'd really greatly appreciate a thumbs up or a subscription thing. Anyway, that's that. And I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.